Appamada and its programs are supported by your generosity, and your generosity and support makes such a difference. You can find a link for contributions on the website at appamada.org. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everyone here this morning and to those who are online. I'll take this off so you can understand me a little better. And for all those who might be listening in the future from Sister Sanghas in Chicago, Minnesota, Madison, England, Switzerland, Alpine, and Hawaii. So welcome. Today we will be engaging in the Jizo ceremony in lieu of a Dharma talk. So I'd like to begin with just kind of an introduction to the Jizo ceremony, who Jizo is and so forth. And then I'll give a little history to how we started offering the Jizo ceremony. So Jizo, the figure of Jizo Bodhisattva is found in various Asian countries, but we're looking mainly at the Japanese version, the Jizo Bosatsu, or the Jizo Bodhisattva. There's also in Sanskrit, there's the Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, who is the same sort of character. And what that means is it's somebody who is an enlightened being who has decided to postpone his Buddhahood to come back and aid others and to liberate all beings. Now, this is one of the most beloved bodhisattvas in Japan, and he works to ease the suffering and shorten the sentence of those spending time in hell. And he also takes the faithful into the Buddha's Pure Land, where they are no longer trapped in the hell realms. He answers prayers to the living for their health, success, their children's welfare, and all manner of petition. But in modern Japan, Jizo is also a friend to all. He's never frightening to children, and he has many manifestations. And sometimes they're really cute little statues, the cartoon-like characters from contemporary times, but they all incorporate Taoist, Buddhist, and Shinto elements. So this Jizo in Japan embodies supreme spiritual optimism, compassion, and universal liberation or salvation, all the hallmarks of the Mahayana Buddhism. So the Bodhisattva, Jizo Bodhisattva, appears in numerous Mahayana texts, and one of the most widely known is the Sutra of the Fundamental Vows of Jizo Bodhisattva. And this is where Jizo vows to remain among us doing good works and to help and instruct all those who are spinning endlessly in the hell realms, especially the souls of the departed. And so Jizo promises to endlessly fulfill these tasks in the eons long interval between the death of the historical Buddha and the arrival of Maitreya, the future Buddha. So as I say, he appears in different forms to alleviate the suffering of the living and the dead. So he's venerated specifically in Japan as a guardian of the unborn children, the aborted, miscarried, and stillborn babies. And in this role, they have another name for him, and it's the Misuko Jizo. So these specific roles with the children were not assigned to Jizo in earlier Buddhist times and traditions from mainland Asia. Instead, this is a modern adaptation in Japan. So he also serves and does the traditional roles of guardian of expectant mothers, women in labor, children, firemen, travelers, and pilgrims. And he's a protector of all beings caught in the six flags, as I said before. So, given all this, because there is the ceaseless action of cause and effect, reality appears in all its many forms. To know this fully liberates all those who suffer. All beings appear just as we do, from the one, and pass away as we all do after a few flickering moments or years of life, back to our original unborn nature. Truly, our lives are waves on the vast ocean of true nature, which is not born and does not pass away. In gathering today, we remember children who have died and express our love and support for their parents, their friends, their families. Here, these children are in complete repose, at one with the mystery that is our own birth and death, our own no birth and no death. So at Appamada, we began the offering the Jizo ceremony about 12 years ago. And it was when, in December, Judy Meyer's son, Trey, died suddenly of a heart attack at the age of 40. Obviously, this was a very, very difficult time for Judy. And so that happened in December, and then in March, Peg decided to offer the Jizo ceremony specifically for her and anyone that corresponded to at the time. Judy, for that occasion, generously gifted the Appamada with a Jizo that now sits outside as you come through the gate. You see it in the corner, and she decorated it a couple of weeks ago on the anniversary of the original ceremony. So since that time, we've been offering the Jizo ceremony every year, barring a year or two during COVID, when COVID weren't doing anything, much of anything. And so the ceremony has become very important, not just to Judy, but to, I would say, the whole Sangha. It's an important thing that we offer. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. When we first started doing the Jizo ceremony, we were creating, thank you, it was origami, but they were cranes. And so we watched the video, and then there were 3 people, I think, that only knew how to do it, and the rest of us struggled around mutilating the paper. But anyway, we put our cranes out in the garden subsequently. And so today we're doing something a little bit different. We've had the luck, good fortune of knowing Kim and Kim's wife, Linda, who graciously and generously offered clay to us today so that we can make our own little Jizos to put out in the garden. And when we were talking to Linda, Kim and I were saying when we were going to put the Jizos out in the garden, then she was worried about the soil, that when the Jizo is not toxic, the clay, of course, the clay is not toxic. But it does, when it disintegrates, falls in a lump. It's just a lot of minerals. And so she suggested that we add something to the clay so that it didn't have that effect, just to kind of break it up. And so her grand idea was using wildflower seeds, of which I have a ton in my yard, and so I gave those to Linda, so that's in view that clay actually has those wildflower seeds. And so when they disintegrate in the garden, well, hopefully have some wildflowers. So to me, it's a really nice thing having, it's symbolizing the flow of birth and death, and disintegration and creation. So now I'd like to work on the Jizos. So I'm sorry, guys who are online, that we can't share clay with you, but I suggest that you use anything that you have around your house. And I want to make clear to everyone, both here in the Zendo and online, that this is not just something for people who work with crafts a lot or work with clay or paper or whatever. It's more about creating something that is personally meaningful to you with respect to particularly the death of children, of which there have been many recently. And so you can decide yourself who you want to honor in making this Jizo. And so if you don't know a specific person, then you can use all of the children from Uvalde, or one of those, however you want to do that. So, but I do encourage everyone to participate, just because it's a lovely ceremony and there's a lot of meaning behind it, and you get more feeling out of the whole ceremony making something yourself. So I don't have any instructions particularly for you guys online, except for I do want to show and tell first before we start doing things. I want to give you some examples of what the Jizos look like. And so this, I made a little bib form. There's nothing fancy about this. I'm not one of those artsy people. But anyway, and I brought this material so you guys can use it if you want to and cut out. And then I started making a hat, but I'm afraid it's a little bit too small. There's this little, we have some yarn if people are so interested. It doesn't exactly match this bib, so probably I'll go with that. But if you need a cap, there is one. So then we have other Jizos. So you know the different styles that he comes with. You know, he's known as being very fearsome. This isn't the one.
Can I hold it up to the camera?
Sure. So the more fearsome Jizo is this one. And as you can see, he's got a child here with him. And then he also has his stick, which it doesn't have the six rings on it. The 6 rings are pretty hell. But anyway, he's got his little staff. So he's a pretty fearsome guy. We were not going to be making things that big, I don't think. We'll see. But this is another style where he's got kids hanging off of him, and oh, it's this one. Anyway, these are just really lovely and make me happy, these kids. So this one I covered, he's holding a child. Kim, you can re-show this. And there's one kid tucked behind his little rower, which I just love. So he's taking the child to the chairlift. You have to lift up this bit. So anyway, these are inspiration. Yes.
What do the 6 rings represent when you say
6 realms of hell.
realms? Okay, all right.
Yeah, there's 6 rings, and they represent the 6 realms of hell.
Okay.
So you can kind of see these and get an example of what we're doing. And so as far as tools that we have, I think we should pass out the clay first.
Maybe help with it.
Yeah,
You can help too.
yeah, you guys can hand this out to people.
Yeah, you could do
So-
this, and I'll get this ready.
Yeah, we have trays for people to work on. We have some tools that you can use for making the face or making lines on a garment. We have these. And I have yarn here. Somebody knows how to crochet and wants to make a hat or a cape. So it's traditional. You don't have to make the bib and the hat. You don't even have to do it. It's mainly the Jizo itself. But if you want to decorate them, use the right cloth. There's some scissors here. There's also instruction paper if you wish to cut up and make a hat out of that. I have these, what do you call these things? Pipe cleaners. I call them pipe cleaners. Anyway, you can use these as a staff if you want to. So there's all sorts of material. So as soon as you get your clay, the first thing you'll want to do is break it up into 2 balls. I'm not meaning to leave you guys out of this, but give those instructions. So anyway, these are available. Scissors and tape. Whatever you need to use, just holler or how we do it. Oh, and then here's another tool, which I'm not sure. So you probably want to make them into 2 balls. And I would suggest the top ball be smaller than the bottom ball. There's a lot of clay. You're going to be so blessed. And also, I have here some handy wipes for your hands after you finish them. Very happy you want to end 20 minutes. Okay. So that should take us to 45. Yikes. You have to work fast. Have these and then those little rocks. I don't know where they went.
we put the wildflower seeds in? Either one of you.
What did you say?
I'm supposed to put wildflower seeds in
They're
before.
already in it.
Oh, it's already in.
Yeah, they're from the garden.
Fantastic.
have another 10 minutes.
One of the ones that I'm having myself.
we have another 5 minutes?
Yeah, yeah, because then it'd be washed out. Alright, so what do we do with our Jizos? Maybe we can take one tray and put all the cheeses in. So no one wants to go. So we can carry them, individually carry them. I'm gonna give you the two. Just back to the kitchen. that, we end the Jizo making. So now we have an opportunity just to say the name of the person or persons that we are honoring. And we won't be sharing this Jizos right now, but we'll take pictures of them in the garden afterwards, so you'll get to see that. Is there anybody online that made anything that they want to share? Yeah, great, okay, Rosemary. Cool. Can you show it again? What, big like that?
It's on there too.
Oh, wonderful. Sandra? Oh, and would you like to say the name of someone? Rosemary, you're on mute.
Oh, for me, it was all the Uvalde children.
Great, thank you. Sandra? There you are. Cute.
For me, one is for the Uvalde children and the other is for Walter, my cousin, that died for COVID.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I found an older one that I had obtained from Apamata one year when someone with an RV, a couple came through.
Sabrina.
Who was it?
Sabrina was, I don't know her last name, but Sabrina.
Yeah. So I went hunting for it and I found it. So thank you.
Okay, great. And who are you honoring today? Is there a
Who are you
child?
honoring today, Kathy?
Let's begin.
Who are you honoring today?
I still couldn't hear you.
Okay, so who are you honoring with the Jizo today?
Oh, my mind was on the Uvalde children. And what came up for me was I really have this desire to go there. And I wondered if there was anyone that we as a group could do. I don't know, but it just, it was so real in this.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I've got one.
Hello.
Oh, hang on.
This is Olivia. I have this Jizo from many years ago when I first started meditating. I got it at the Hidden Mountain Zen Center in Albuquerque that doesn't exist anymore. And my teacher was Jizo. And, you know, I'm honoring him for the impact. When I got this Jizo, it reminded me of Jizo. And he was a very important, my first teacher. And of course, all the unborn children and the thoughts that are there for this abortion rights and so forth. That's who I'm honoring. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I've got one. Now, I warn you, I only had various bits and bobs around my house and very small bits of clay of all different colours. So it's a little bit colourful and might not be in sync with everything. But I thought that mine was for McKenna Lee Elrod, age 10. And I thought she could do with a fierce grandma kind of looking with a staff. And I've got the bib out of a different colour. And there's a heart there. And then there's a little baby at the bottom there as well. But it's just made out of lots of different colours because that's all I had. But it was made with lots of love for McKenna Lee Elrod, who was age 10. So that's my my effort.
Great.
Thank
Thank you so much, Maria.
Mm.
All right, so I think we should move on for this, and we'll show our Jizos later. I think that's great.
Can we even just say the names of the people we're honoring?
Sure. Okay.
Oh, I'd like to honor my great nephew, Matthew Gray, who died of sudden infant death syndrome 5 years ago.
Thank you.
Yeah, my wife had a miscarriage. And I don't think we've talked about it since, 25 years. And somehow it came to me and I wondered, what would that baby have grown up to be? And we have still had my daughter who came after that. But I haven't thought about that kid.
What about my friend's son, Jack?
I'm honoring Trey and the children in Uvalde and all the children in the world.
My grandson, Henry Joseph Siler.
I'm honoring lost children who, it's in a little bit different sense, children who lost their childhoods due to trauma and so forth. And also the children in Uvalde.
I was thinking of people who, parents who lost their children from substance use disorder, and people in my life personally who recently pulled back from the brink of some danger there, and trying to make that a better place.
Yeah, Brandon Lawrence is a friend of mine that I lost when I was 4 or 5.
Right, I have something here that Darcy left. She's on an airplane right now and she wanted to participate and wanted me to read this to everyone. So, it's pretty short. I offer this in memory of my daughter, Kevina Frost, a verse from the Upanishads, which she kept on her altar. From joy springs all creation. By joy it is sustained. Towards joy it proceeds, and to joy it returns. She goes on. It has been almost 1 year since Keb's death last year. I want to thank our teachers and all of my spiritual friends, all of you, for helping me hold the grief in one hand and nurture the joy towards which we all proceed in the other. In deepest gratitude, Darcy, 6/12/22. Okay, thank you everyone. And now we're gonna watch a video of the photos of the children from Uvalde, and then we'll be doing 108 bells after that. So, and Sandra's reading names. Yes.
Hey, I'll share it now.
McKenna Lee Enro. Laila Salazar. Miranda Madness. Navena Bravo. José Manuel Flores. Javier López. Desmarie Mara. Rogelio Torres. Eli Amián García. Eliana Torres. Anabel Guadalupe Rodríguez, Jackie Casares, Lucilla García, Yaisy Carmero Ruebanos, Maite Juliana Rodríguez, Yaila Nicole Silguero, Amerillo Garza, Alexandra Lexi Aniaya Rubio, Alitia Ramírez, Irma García, Eva Mireles.
We won't be doing the Heart Sutra. We're going to go directly to the Jizo Dharani. And the Jizo Dharani is a chant that invokes.
Bell started some kind of feedback.
Oh, there we go. So the Jizo Dharani is a chant that invokes Jizo's presence and can help dispel distressing, repetitive thoughts and often well-being and protection. Oh, I need to explain it first. So the phrase is Om Kaka Kabi San Ma E Sowaka. So where there's there would be one beat for each of those different units. So like Kabe is going to be Kabe with one beat, and solo will be 1 beat, and the rest will be 1 beat each. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to, John is going to lead us through this. It's going to be normal, starting at normal volume, normal speed, and then each time around we'll increase the volume and speed a little. And so we'll go up several levels, and then we'll start back down, and then we'll get to the point where we're actually whispering. And after that round, Anne will hit a bell, and it means that we'll have 1 more round, but we'll be completely in silence. We'll just be saying it to ourselves.
But this will still be going?
Yes, the beat will still go. And then we'll have 2 minutes of silence after that. So.
offering incense, observing silence, and chanting the Jizo Dharani, we honor the loss of children of every age, everywhere, and we extend compassionate care to those who are gravely ill, lacking basic necessities, or suffering violence in the world, in thought, word, or deed. May they be serene through all their suffering, and may they, together with all beings, realize the awakened way.